All right, you see this word? You see strategy here? If you've ever used it, and you have, then you've used the strategy pattern. That's why Apple named it this, because it's following the strategy pattern. If you watched my video on delegates, you might be thinking, hey, this strategy thing seems a lot like a delegate. So what's the difference? A strategy is basically a single focused version. And if your code has switch statements that look like this, then stick around. I'm going to show you how to clean it right up. So let's go. Hoorah! All right, here is an excerpt from my StemFox app. I created this cool custom formatting style so that the calculator could easily pick which style we want to display the results in. And here I'm matching that to Apple's strategy pattern here. But I didn't quite finish the case because as I continued on, I required further formatting, further customization for each one of these types. So in this case, I've got the same enum driving two different patterns. One a strategy pattern and another one just a configuration pattern here. So what I want to do is I want to refactor this. Let's take this all the way so that we only use the strategy pattern. The first way we could do that is by using closures. So here I've taken the format style and I've added a closure. I've taken the stat format and moved all that information that was here in that switch statement. I moved it into the format style itself. And this is a benefit because now all the information is located in one position, one location. And what this allows us to do is that when we actually want to use the style, we can just call its configuration once. And bada bing, bada boom, we've got exactly what we wanted. It also means that if we ever want to expand it, we only have one position, one place in the code base that we have to change it. We can just come into format style, add our new case, and add its configuration right in line in the file. Now, a refactor is just really a shuffling of code, but it's a shuffling that makes your code base better. Kind of like the old Boy Scout motto of leave things better than you found them. So that's exactly what we've done here. We've taken it out from the formatter where it didn't make sense and moved it into format style itself. And this is a benefit because now all the information is located in one position, one location. And the beautiful thing about this is that then if we wanted to add tests, it's an easy place to do. We would just expand the tests for format style. So what is the strategy pattern? Well, the strategy pattern is just a way to easily swap out different algorithms and ways of doing things. For instance, here we have a key decoding strategy, and we can swap out for JSON different ways of decoding the keys from a JSON object. Similarly, if we have a date decoding strategy, we can use these different ways of decoding the date that may exist in that JSON. And it also exists in like a number, the number formatter. So with the number formatter, I could say each one of these ways, I can pick each one of these ways of decoding or formatting a number. Another example is just in your date formatter style. So here you go. Date formatter, I can do short, medium, long, full, just different ways to quickly swap in the algorithm that I want to choose. But algorithms also go into other things like sorting. So we have the sort by, and here we can just substitute in any sort of sorting method that we want here, custom one in this case. So when Apple is using these types of names and functions, they're trying to give us information. They're trying to tell us what this is and how it is meant to be used. If you're enjoying this video or found it helpful, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. How does this differ from a delegate, you may ask? Well, let's take a look at a sample delegate. Here we have the UI table view delegate, and let's look at what it does. It does a lot. You are selecting cells, you're populating cells, you're dealing with the movement, a lot of different things. Whereas if you look at this example of sort by as a strategy, it's doing one thing. We're passing off to the caller the single thing it needs to do. It needs to provide an algorithm by which to sort. So delegates are broad, multi-purposed items, whereas a strategy is a single focused algorithm. It's kind of like a delegate, but with one single job. While this closure format that we've implemented here is definitely an improvement, we can go further. We can make this more canonical, and let's do that now with a protocol. So here I've implemented the more canonical way to do the strategy pattern. I've created a protocol that defines what I want. I want an Apple style for the number formatter style, and then I want to provide a configuration for it. And then let's say for my decimal strategy, I would say, hey, I want to use the decimal style. So what's the benefit of this? Well, the benefit of this is that I can test each one of these in isolation. Whenever I expand or do a new one, the other ones don't have to change. I don't have to go back and do anything with fixed strategy if I wanted to alter something about my engineering strategy. Or if I want to add a new one, say, let's call it a percent strategy, I can just create it, add it right here, and then use it, and nothing up above, none of this stuff knew about the creation of the percent strategy. It doesn't care. So what does this mean if the existing code doesn't know about the new stuff? Well, this is the open-close principle. Things are open for extension, but closed for modification. We don't have to modify anything else. And when do you want to use a closure? And when do you want to use a protocol? Well, closures are great for small places to write, ergonomics, and protocols are great if you want to use polymorphism or you want to have separate testing and external extensions. You want to put little things together piecemeal. So when might you not want to use the strategy pattern? Well, if you had like a small amount of cases, that like a small enum, and you know it's not going to grow, it's not a good candidate because you can just handle it all. You know it's going to happen and it's not going to change. But anything that's going to adapt and evolve over time, or you're going to have a lot of different use cases you really need to test, that's a great candidate for the strategy pattern. I challenge you to take a moment and open up one of your own projects and find a good switch statement that's a candidate to substitute in the strategy pattern and see how it goes. Try it and apply it. That's the best way to learn. So what other patterns have you seen in your own code where you didn't really recognize it at first, but then you saw it and you're like, oh, I get it. It's that. Write it in the comments. Share it with me. I'd love to hear. And if you haven't seen the Delegates video that this one builds on, watch that next. That's where strategy bigger sibling lives.